Hola, hola, hola. Bienvenidos a un nuevo video en Negrito Powers. El video de hoy será de terror, donde reaccionaremos a videos de terror. Así que, sin nada más que decir, vamos a empezar.
During a live Thai television interview where a well-known model named Phipawan appeared as a guest, and what started as a normal conversation turned into something that disturbed everyone in the studio.
เป็นยังไงอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
ต้องการอะไรกันแน่อะไรอย่างเงี้ยไม่อยากให้มาเลยอ่ะ
คือเขาจะมานี่เริ่มมาใช่ไหมเขา นี่คืออะไรฮะ
Ok, dicen de que
นี่คือเข้ามา
algo
ใช่ไหม
pasó
13 minutes into the
en,
interview, Phipawan's
en
behavior
una
suddenly changes as her voice drops to an unnaturally low register, and she begins speaking in a way that doesn't match her normal
una
personality, claiming that a malicious slur called a pop has possessed her body. The voice speaking through her says it chose her because of her beauty and repeatedly demands
y
fake blood,
se
stating
de
that it's
que
unbelievable.
un demonio la
ก็นี่ไง
poseyó.
เขาบอกเนี่ยเขาจะทำเลือดมาบูชา
La,
When the host holds up a sacred Buddhist amulet, Phipawan recoils and shrieks as if the protective symbol is physically harming whatever is inside her.
คือออกไหมออกเอาไหม
ahí le acercan un collar
Spiritual tradition, the pop is considered one of the most malevolent types of entities that can possess a living person, and what viewers witnessed on live television appear to match centuries-old descriptions of pop possession behavior. What is captured is beyond explanation. Let me know your thoughts. Something unsettling was caught in Mexican morning show Sail El Sol, where celebrity psychic Mandy was appearing as a guest to discuss spiritual topics. But what happened during the live broadcast seemed to prove that something was listening to the conversation.
televisión
Mandy is in the middle of discussing the existence of angels with the show's hosts, and suddenly this happens.
de que ella está discutiendo la existencia de ángel. Que decir, pasó eso, se cayó algo de ahí.
A large piece of background scenery mounted on the studio
Mi
wall
mirada
suddenly falls from
se
its position and crashes
cayó
to the
algo.
floor directly behind where Mandy is sitting. And the
Al
timing is what makes this so
ver
unsettling, because it
había
happens at the
aire,
exact moment she's talking about
no sé.
spiritual presences. A psychic discusses angels on live TV, and scenery immediately falls behind her. Coincidence or something making itself known? Let us know what you think in the comments. Our next case comes from an Argentine Twitch streamer who was doing a live broadcast in 2021, talking to random people on Hulu while thousands of viewers watch, and something appeared in the background behind her that she didn't notice at first.
Ay, bueno, tocando la guitarra. Sí, literalmente vengo de jugar jueguitos, muchachos, ahora.
The stream appears completely normal as she chats with people online, and at first glance nothing seems unusual about the footage, but during that whole scene she was not alone.
Sí, literalmente vengo de jugar jueguitos, muchachos, ahora.
En que es
Sí, vengo
para
de stream y ahora estoy grabando para YouTube.
conocer a otras
Sí, pero Mona, Agustina
personas.
Devia también debería de figurar. Devia con B corta, chicos, por favor.
¿Cómo dijiste, perdón?
Agustina Devia o Feromona, de las dos formas debería de figurar. Si no, chicos, más fácil, busquen Feromona, así tal cual, en Instagram tienen un link directo. Los juegos igual los subo a Twitch y YouTube es más claro.
Y el que
¿Qué onda? ¿Qué andaban haciendo, muchachos? Me parece bien.
And when it noticed when the footage is zoomed in and enhanced, especially focusing on the mirror's reflection, you can see a dark, shadowy figure standing upright on top of her bed, moving very slowly. But here's what makes this
en
impossible to
el
explain. On the actual bed visible in a regular
espejo
camera angle, there's only
y
a
hay
black piece of clothing or bag line of
en
flat that doesn't
el
match the upright
en
figure visible in the
el
mirror at all. And time does
espejo
not stop from one person during the whole stream this happened, and the streamer never noticed anything unusual during the
hay
broadcast.
alguien que levanta ando todo así y ya
¿En serio de dónde?
en la cama es, está ahí sí sin
But when she
que
uploaded the stream to YouTube, viewers flooded her with messages pointing out the dark figure in the mirror. And when she finally saw it herself, she was terrified because she has no explanation for what appeared in that reflection. This is something naked eyes cannot capture and is recorded live and is truly
a la
horrifying.
bestia.
Our first case comes from 17 April 2014 during a live Fox Sports broadcast at Bolivia's Hernando Siles Stadium when cameras captured something nobody noticed until after it aired.
Bolivia. Haz esto. Oh, what the what? ¿Qué era eso? Steven, I, 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 y miren ahí. Eso azul, ahí no creo de
Look at the
que
left side of the
sea
stands where a dark human-shaped figure suddenly appears and begins moving through the
así
packed crowd at impossible speed.
y gente lo tocó, güey, a la bestia, no manches, hola.
When it
Sí,
reaches the concrete barrier
veo
separating the sections,
eso,
it doesn't stop or jump but
me
passes straight through the solid wall as if it
asustaría,
doesn't
no
exist.
manches. Aparición, aparición de fantasma en el ajá, ajá, ajá. Y mira, na, y ese sin mu, así. O sea, todos está tan así como si no, o
And this second angle is what makes the
era
double exposure argument fall apart
pasado
completely. Because no camera
algo.
glitch makes a figure pass through solid concrete that independently exists in the frame. And what makes the stadium even harder to dismiss is that it was built directly on top of an old cemetery, with the manager himself
Y
on
se
record saying he sometimes sees
que
children playing football on the pitch at night and then vanishing when he walks
adiós
towards them.
The
se
last time this lady graced our presence,
construyó
all kind of strange things began to happen. Chairs
encima
moved on their
de
own.
un
This music began to play. Who knows
cementerio.
what could happen today because the creepy doll is back.
There she is. The creepy doll is.
No, that's Yvette Fielding, darling.
Now, so the doll, after we saw her last, she was bought for over £800, I might add. But she seems she's been up to her old tricks again. So as you can see, we have Ghost Hunter, Yvette Fielding here, and also joining us a psychic who's been working with the doll, and that is Deborah Davis. So Deborah, you didn't buy the doll. Lee Steer bought the doll.
This case comes from ITV's This Morning, one of Britain's biggest daytime shows, in July 2017. A couple named Debbie and Cameron Merrick appeared to discuss how buying 3 China dolls from a charity shop for just £5 had turned their home into a place they feared. Cameron woke up with fresh, unexplained scratches on his body. Their fire alarm kept triggering despite engineers finding nothing wrong, and a heavy appraisal oppressive feeling filled the house from the day the dolls arrived.
Haunted things. That's his kind of hobby, or allegedly haunted thing.
Yeah, it is.
And he believes that things did start to happen in his house. So he got in touch with you. So what was happening when he got the doll?
He sent me some footage of what was happening at home for him, and it was quite incredible, to be honest. I could see in one piece of footage there was a picture moving quite a lot on the wall. Yeah, the doll set opposite. There was another picture where the frame was being broken off. You can hear it, you can see it. His father was scratched.
There was never scratching. The lady who bought the doll in here originally, who bought it, she said her husband was scratched on his arms and legs.
Yeah, she did.
So they brought the doll on the show, and it's sitting right there in a small rocking chair on the set next to them while hosts Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford interview them. And at this point, everything is going completely normally.
Comercial. Bueno, vamos a esperar. Ok, y entonces leemos de lo que hemos visto. Hay cosas muy dejadas, o sea, imagínense comprar un muñeco en Perú, dejados sin saber. O sea,
Yes,
y,
I do, because
y que,
I've been
que
scratched over the past week or 8 days that I've had the doll on my arm.
esa mujer la de lo así la arrancó a la arañado.
We're looking for a female arm with scratches on it.
That's Lee's dad. So, yeah. Lee asked me, would I have the doll? Would I give him my opinion about what's going on with this doll? To be honest, when I picked it up, I thought, I don't think it's that scary.
So you've been
with no draft, no air vent, and nobody near it. That chair starts rocking on its own on live national television. And watch Ruth Langsford's face when she notices, because she addresses the chair directly on air and asks whoever is making it move to please stop, which is one of Britain's most experienced presenters talking to something invisible in her own studio.
Mind, mold, whatever, with the doll here. What are you reading? What are you discovering? What is in that doll?
Okay. The first thing that I got with this doll, it's almost like flashes of images that come to me that show a person or a word, or, you know, this was a little girl. So the first thing that I had with this doll is a little girl. I don't know the honest answer to that one. The next thing I felt was quite maternal presence, so mum of the little girl passed first. I feel as though that little girl actually had her life taken from her, to be honest with you. And the mum, when she...
The producers investigated afterwards and issued a statement saying they couldn't explain the movement, and a paranormal investigator named Lee Steer later bought the doll at auction for over £866. Within days, his father started waking up with unexplained scratches on his arm in the exact same pattern as Cameron Merrick, which at that point stops feeling like coincidence. On November 26, 1977, the television was the single most authoritative source of information in most British homes. So when millions of families across the south of England had their TVs on, and ITN anchor Andrew Gardner's voice simply disappeared mid-sentence and was replaced by something else entirely, the impact was unlike anything that had happened in British broadcasting before.
Nationalist leader Bishop Abel Muzorewa has accepted Mr. Smith's offer to negotiate an internal settlement based on one man, one vote. But, he says, there are conditions. These include stopping the execution of all captured prisoners of war.
What replaces Gardner's voice is deep, distorted and electronic sounding, identifying itself as Vrillin, or representative of something called the Ashta Galactic Command, and then it keeps going for 6 full minutes on live national television, calmly warning about weapons of evil that need to be removed, cautioning people against false leaders who will drain their resources, and speaking about humanity approaching a new age of peace, but only if we change course, and somehow the measured, gentle tone of all of this makes it feel far more serious than if it had been aggressive.
In Australia, Mr. Derek Packer, the street
un
still
día en las noticias se cortó la transmisión y empezó a ponerse de que sabe de que ese era
And then it ends
la
just as cleanly as it
bestia.
started. Gardner comes back slightly confused, and Southern Television immediately starts running emergency announcements every half hour insisting this was a hoax and the planet was not being invaded. The investigation found someone had used an unauthorized transmitter and exploited a specific technical vulnerability in the signal architecture. Expert-level equipment and precise frequency knowledge, and yet after a full investigation nobody was ever charged. Nobody ever claimed responsibility, and the person behind that broadcast has remained completely unidentified for nearly 50 years.
Ok, ahora ahí tenemos eso. Se abrió una de las puertas así se dejó así bien fuerte así ¡pa! A la bestia. A la bestia, no manches.
This CCTV footage comes from Deer Park CBS, a secondary school in Cork, Ireland in September 2017 where the school was completely empty with no students, no teachers, nobody inside. And yet with every other door in that corridor completely still and no draft or air pressure to explain it, this one door swings fully open as if someone just walked straight through it. And if you look carefully at the handle, there's no wire, no mechanism, nothing attached to it at all. And then this locker starts shaking hard and violently, something clearly slamming against it from the inside. And when the door flies open and everything spills out onto the corridor floor with real force in a completely empty building at night, if you slow it down to the exact moment that door opens, what you're looking at is not gravity and not air pressure. Something hit that locker from the inside and threw it open, and the school's own principal went on record standing by the authenticity of every second of this footage. On 27 February 2018, the Wake Up News team at Fox 6 in Milwaukee were doing their standard early morning broadcast with their tower cameras showing a wide shot over downtown when something appeared in the sky that made the anchor pause live on air and say,
"This video of some UFOs was actually very quickly identified as being a flock of seagulls."
Are those fireworks? What is that? Aliens? Because those lights are not moving the way anything with physical mass moves, changing direction instantly and zigzagging in patterns that should be aerodynamically impossible for any aircraft, drone, or bird.
But what about these strange trails? Well, I actually added the trails in the video as inset here. Let's have a closer look. You can see that the two videos are almost identical once you add the trails. The motion is very, very similar. Here's the original video of the seagulls circling over the courthouse. You can see they're illuminated from the...
Fox 6 later reported the explanation was seagulls near the courthouse caught by the camera's night exposure setting, creating light trails.
And if we zoom in, we can see they actually are just seagulls. So why are the trails at all in this video? Well, it's just a function of the traffic camera, which is kind of overexposing for the city lights. If we look at the traffic just above the...
But a lot of people who've studied the clip carefully still struggle with how sharp and instant those direction changes are in a way that doesn't map cleanly onto bird movement, even with a long exposure effect. And the clip got near...
La verdad. Y como, o sea, eso fue todo por el video de hoy. Así sí que no se olviden de darle like y suscribirse. Así que sin nada más que decir, esto fue todo. Adiós.